This is the story of the first organic Franciacorta, but it's also the story of a family and winery, and it starts with the story of a land and its people. It's the story of Franciacorta, a land that lies between Brescia and Lake Iseo. Its name appears for the first time in 1277 in a mention of the so-called Corte Franche, medieval villages exempt from tax or levies. Although the origin of the name is not known for certain, there is no doubt that wine has been made here since antiquity. Franciacorta provided the wines for the city of Brescia and the villages in the surrounding valleys. In 1426, a group of noblemen conspired to hand over the city of Brescia to the Republic of Venice. This was when medieval archer towers began to appear here, now a symbol of Franciacorta. In 1570, Brescian doctor Girolamo Conforti publishes his Libellus de Vino Mordaci, the book of sparkling wine, in which he describes the sparkling wines produced here. The caliber of his work is matched only by his enjoyment of the wines. He calls them mordacious, in other words, stinging wines because of their bubbly sparkle. Centuries passed. Franciacorta's beauty and natural resources attracted wealthy local families as well as others. The Barone Pizzini von Thurberg were among them, a noble family from Rovereto Township, friends of Mozart and regular guests in the salons of the era. And that's where the second part of the story begins. By the beginning of 1800s, winemaking traditions were already well established in Franciacorta. The Napoleonic land registry of 1809 includes 1,000 hectares planted to vine and 9,940 hectares of farmland that included vines. So many vines would have more than satisfied the needs of the inhabitants at that time, and so growers clearly intended to sell the wines. The year is 1870. Brothers Enrico and Bernardino form the Pizzini Farming Company with 150 hectares planted to wheat, corn, vines and mulberry trees. They make their mark immediately with advanced farming practices, draining swampland, introducing new vine cures, and experimenting with new planting techniques. Giulio Pizzini PIOMARTA von Thurberg follows in the footsteps of the founders. He adopts the use of ledgers to improve estate management, and he regulates the business dealings of renters and owners. Moves that keep the estate in step with the modern conception of farming at the time. In 1911, Edoardo Pizzini PIOMARTA delle Porte takes over the company. As a young man, Edoardo had been a commander in the cavalry school in Pinerolo, where he was the successor of Francesco Baracca, the first World War flying ace. Franca Pizzini reports the following curious anecdote in her 2010 book Un'eredità lombarda, da Milano alla Franciacorta, a Lombard legacy from Milan to Franciacorta. Baracca often asked the Baron to send news of a feisty horse. In the margin of a letter to Baracca, Edoardo sketched a horse rearing up and added the following note: "Your horse is doing well, but when you try to ride him, this is what he does." Baracca liked the drawing so much that he used it as the symbol of his fighter squadron. Later, Enzo Ferrari drew inspiration from the sketch for his car manufacturing company. Thus, Edoardo was the surreptitious artist behind the famous prancing horse of the Ferrari brand. Edoardo proves to be a talented farmer just like his father and uncles. He reads the famous treatise on agricultural practices by Cosimo Ridolfi, an advocate of education and training in farming. He modernizes and reorganizes the company. A well-heeled man in step with the times, Edoardo builds a golf course on the family's property in 1927, one of the first in Italy. It's another example of the family's worldly status and Franciacorta's popularity on the international circuit. After the war, Giulio Pizzini PIOMARTA joins his father in managing the family company, devoting himself primarily to viticulture. He introduces new machinery and he creates wines that are smoother, rounder and more flavorful. He also begins using the eagle from the family's coat of arms on the label. In 1967, Barone Pizzini becomes one of the 11 estates to found the Franciacorta DOCG. In 1971, the winery produces its first bottle of Barone Pizzini Franciacorta. A new winery grew in 1993. At the beginning of 1990s, Giulio Pizzini involves a group of passionate entrepreneurs in the company. Pier Giacomo Ghiti from Bagnadore is among them. The winery's flagship Reserve Bagnadore is dedicated to him. In 1998, the winery begins its conversion to organic farming. Its goal is to produce a wine that is closely linked to the land where it is grown, a unique wine that cannot be reproduced elsewhere. In 2002, it produces the first organic Franciacorta. In 2007, the winery opens the doors of its new winemaking facility, 2/3 of which lie underground. It's like a tree with deep-reaching roots that capture the earth's freshness and vibrancy and imparts them to the wine. It provides the ideal conditions for producing wines that are respectful of the environment. The building's bioarchitectural design includes solar panels and a natural cooling system made out of stone and wood. It uses reclaimed water to maintain the desired temperature. In 2011, Barone Pizzini becomes one of the first Italian wineries to join the Itaca project, which measures its carbon footprint. In 2012, it becomes the first winery to receive ISO 14064 certification. Starting in 2012, Barone Pizzini's wines begin to bring home top awards. In London, its Franciacorta Rosé is named Best Organic Wine in the World.
Please welcome on stage General Manager Silvano Brasciamimi.
A top prize at the International Wine Challenge, one of the most prestigious and demanding competitions in the world. 2014. The winery creates its Franciacorta Animante to commemorate Barone Pizzini's role as the first organic winery in Franciacorta. The wine is a blend of more than 70 different wines from 25 vineyards. During 2015 and 2016, the winery continues to win prizes and receive awards. In 2015, the winery obtained Biodiversity Friend Certificate, the first farming biodiversity certification. It's a past that has strong, deep-reaching roots in our land. A memory shaped through authenticity and intelligent choices. A story marked by a century of passion, commitment, and respect for the land. And it's only just the beginning.